What's going on, guys? It's Lowqy here, or you can just call me Lewis. And today I got this video. We're gonna go real deep into the government's history, man. We're gonna see all the little spider webs that they didn't want to see it, they didn't want us to see. We're gonna clean it out and just check out what the hell these people are hiding from us. All right. Today's video is covering a bunch of topics that actually they're not hiding from us. They got leaked by whistleblowers or came out and it just came out in documents years and years later because there's this whole act where after a while the government has to release certain documents after a certain amount of time or something. I'm not sure how that works, but these are conspiracy theories that have actually been confirmed by our government. Let's get into it. A lot of people seen this and heard about this, but we got a bunch of different ones, but let's just get into this one. Okay, MKUltra was from the 1950s to the 1970s. The CIA conducted a top secret program to explore mind control and behavior modification techniques. So basically, they wanted to be able to force confessions through brainwashing and physiological torture during interrogations. They used methods such as administering LSD and other drugs to unsuspecting subjects, often with tragic consequences. So, back in the day, they weren't too smart. So they thought, this is the talking drug or whatever. That, when you're tripping on this, they're going to just start spilling their guts out and telling us everything. But they're really just tripping balls and, probably ODing in most of the cases. Other methods they used included electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and more. So, yeah, it's basically just torture in a bunch of ways that we would do. Well, not we would do. I don't know if government still does that to maybe our foreign enemy. I don't know how that works. It wasn't until the 1970s that the program's existence was officially declassified, shedding the light on these dark experiments. So like I said, it started all the way from the 50s to the 70s, and then it said it wasn't disclosed until the 70s, so after it was already all wrapped up and shit. So while things happening, they definitely are never telling us, but after it happens, they'll tell us, and usually they'll wait a long period of time, but I guess they just said it right off the bat. So basically they just tortured and drugged people to try to mind control them and try to get confessions and just basically try to make zombies out of people. You know what I mean? Just confession zombies. They just, I had the bodies over here. I did it with this knife. All that type shit. All right, next one. Conspiracy theory 2. The COINTELPRO. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, to be honest. This is my first time actually hearing about it. This is why I wanted to make the list. A couple of these on here I've never even heard about. I'm really deep into conspiracy theory. So let's go into this one. The COINTELPRO was an undercover operation by the FBI. Operating from the 1950s to the 1970s, it was designed to infiltrate and disrupt civil rights organizations, left-wing activists, and people who opposed official policy. Under the program, the government engaged in illegal surveillance, harassment, and even blackmail. The truth about COINTELPRO was unveiled in the early 1970s. Citizens Committee to investigate the FBI removed secret files from the FBI office and media in Pennsylvania, and released them to the press, causing shockwaves across the nation. So basically, this is one of the ones I was talking about where it was leaked. So there was this whole organization where it was Citizens Committee to investigate the FBI. That was the whole name of it. All right. So they didn't come up with a good name. They're not good namers, these conspiracy theorists. Okay. But they'll get the results. They'll get down to the bottom brass tacks of it. So this committee came together and then literally stole the secrets from the FBI office media in Pennsylvania, I guess. And then that's how it was leaked and then sent shockwaves to the whole nation. So this is the first time that people started getting the indication okay, I think the government, if they have all this technology, our notes, they go through it, they send our notes around, if it's internet, and at the time they didn't have internet, but in the internet, well, they probably did, but I don't think a lot of people, I don't fucking know how it was in that time. The computers are probably huge, but anything that you sent, whether it's a letter or whatever, they can read, they can have access to your background and everything. It's a lot of personal information, personal shit that a lot of people didn't know that the government knew. I always kind of had that indication, yeah, they have a connection to all this. They have to, because why would they just let people have phones and internet and then not look at what they're doing at all? Not to play devil's advocate, but they can probably stop a lot of crimes ahead of time by doing that. I don't like it, but I'm just saying that's where their mindset is. Anyways, conspiracy number 3, we're moving on to Operation Northwoods. This plan, created by the U.S. Department of Defense, was proposed in the 1960s, staging false flag attacks on American soil as justification for military intervention in Cuba. Although it was never executed, declassified documents in the early 2000s revealed that the extent of their alarming plan and the lengths some were willing to go for political goals. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this shit still goes on, and I guess they stomped it out before it could really go anywhere. But yeah, it happened all the way in the 1960s, and then we just figured out in the early 2000s how bad it was. They probably brushed it off and said, yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. We were just looking, at old spam mail. And then, in the 2000s, they were like, yeah, we were actually like looking at all your emails, phone calls, texts, whatever you were sending out. I mean, we were spying on you, bro. Your radio, we're listening through that shit. That old radio thing. Yeah. Basically, they've been doing that whole time. They're still doing it. Like, I don't remember what year it was, but they actually said something along those lines that the government is listening to your phone calls and everything like that. Like that listening station in New York that they say is a cell tower or whatever. That's a huge conspiracy theory right there that we can do a whole video on itself. But let me keep going. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this video at any point in time, please leave a like real quick before we continue. It really helps out my channel a lot. Maybe comment what you think about the video, or maybe if you want a certain type of video to be done, I'm willing to take suggestions or whatever to make any kind of video. That would be cool. Just let me know in the comments, and subscribe if you haven't for future content like this. All right, so let's get back to the video. Number 4, the Tuskegee syphilis study. All right, so it was a syphilis study. The study is full of disturbing medical malpractices. For decades, from the year 1932 to 1972, the U.S. Public Health Service conducted experiments on African American men. They were intentionally left untreated for syphilis, even when treatment became available. It was an investigative journalism that uncovered this secret in the early 1970s. I'm going to go ahead, and future me is going to edit this later, and then I'm going to throw up the whistleblower who exposed that. That got that out there, the journalist, because I feel like they deserve a little bit, representation or clout. Or I think they deserve a shout out because that's crazy. All right, a journalist. So somewhere this information was readily available that they were doing this to African American people. Like they were just giving them syphilis and letting them die, just like writing down their symptoms the whole time. Like, oh yeah, okay, so if you have it for more than 5 years or whatever, and you don't treat it, you start getting these bumps everywhere. Or, you end up fucking coughing really hard and blood comes out. Like random shit like that. Just taking notes, watching people die. Like that is so fucking, like, what is wrong with people? Jesus Christ. The next one, because that one's a fucking bummer. Jesus. All right, number 5. I mean, these all kind of suck, but whatever. And number 5, Iran-Contra affair. The Iran-Contra affair was a major scandal during the Reagan administration in the 1980s. In an undercover operation, government officials secretly sold weapons to Iran and used profits to fund anti-Sandinista rebels in Nicaragua, all in violation of congressional bans. The scandal came to light in 1986, revealing the deceit at the highest levels of government. So, I've heard of this already. I'm sure a lot of people have. They actually made jokes about this on Family Guy and a lot of other, like, jokey kind of shows like that. And during that administration, the Reagan administration, I guess we were selling, not we, but, them, the government guys. That's not really us, We're in the place, but we're just living here. So, the government guys, Reagan and all of them were selling weapons to Iran. You know what I mean? And they were actually, I think we were in some kind of war with them, or we weren't allied with them in any way. So, we shouldn't be giving them that shit, especially because I might be speaking out of pocket here. I don't know if this is the thing, so I'm ignorant. This is just off the top of the dome. I will correct myself later if it's wrong. I'll Google it. But Iran, I don't think we were in contact with them at all, like in a way, like, they're our allies or whatever. And I think they were doing terrorist things to other countries. I'm not sure. I don't want to like put them down or anything if that's not true. I'm pretty sure that's what I've heard in the past, and that's why it was such a big controversy, because like, why would you sell them the guns that are they're the ones shooting our men type shit is what I've heard. So I'm not sure how true that is. All right, but I know that they were using the gun to kill other people. The U.S. was helping them kill other people, basically. So that's fucked up enough for me, at least, And then we were using the profit to basically do a big fear-mongering campaign for the Nicaraguans at the time, I guess, that we were against for some reason. I'm not 100% sure what the lure is behind that war, but basically, it's just fucked. Like, basically, the moral of the whole video is that the government will do anything that, as long as the end goal, is what they need for their country to thrive and to prosper and, to learn more. Like the syphilis one, they're like, oh, how bad is it? Da, da, da. So they let a bunch of black dudes die, which is fucked. Because like at the time they were just seen as not even second class. They weren't really. They were seen as, I don't fucking know what they were seen as. They weren't seen as that much of a citizen, obviously. That's crazy. It was just black men on that one. That one fucked me up a little bit. It's like, what? Like, why not just everyone in general, like black and white? Nah, because they'll feel bad because their pale face is looking at their pale face, and they're like, oh man, that pale guy's dying. That's fucked up. Anyways, this is another like random video. I've been trying to branch out more, like for different content and stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do at any point, just let me know if you wanted a longer video. I could do a top 10 list instead of 5. These are kind of just experimental. Let me know in the comments if you do have any other type of video or genre or whatever that you'd like me to cover, stories, anything like that. I'd definitely be down. Make sure to please leave a like if you enjoyed at any point in time. I really appreciate it. It helps out my channel. And subscribe.